how did this start? Honestly, I mean, people remember the show from the 70s and remember just sci-fi in general in the 70s had kind of a silly tone to it. Did you guys have a hard time when you first pitched this to Sci-Fi, when you first conceived of this concept, reinventing Battlestar and making it something culturally significant? Because it is such a sci-fi show, which typically is perceived as silly or foolishly genre, and this is something that it is so about a relatable human struggle. What was your approach?
Well, the network agreed with that. You know, they had all these space opera shows on the air, and when the title floated their way, they said, great, you know, Battlestar Galactica, okay, we own it, we can make money off of it, there's a lot of value to it, but why does the world need another space opera? And in a weird way, their agenda and our agenda coincided because we felt the same way. We both were very intrigued and driven by the idea of science fiction as an allegory for our times, as a metaphor for our reality, as something that was deeper and more adult and more sophisticated than just summer action escapism. And it was the very thing the channel, the network needed to rationalize or justify spending all this money on another space opera. So it was a rare, you know, coinciding of producers and network wanting the same thing at the same time, and it was, you know, beneficial in that respect.
But the pilot itself was such a proof of concept, like just a way to demonstrate that this could function. I mean, you guys must have been really excited when it came off the way it did.
Nauseous, but excited.
I mean, I remember that the moment that I thought we really had something in terms of its acceptance as a show, because I kind of always believed that the show was good. I just liked it and didn't really care what happened because I always sort of felt like we had done this thing and we were proud of it and that was enough. But you really still hope against hope that it's going to be successful. And the moment was when the day after the second part of the miniseries was broadcast. Because what traditionally happens in miniseries is you show part one, it gets a certain number, and then there's always a drop-off into night two or part two.
And it's
whatever.
expected. Everyone expects, yeah.
Because after the night one ratings came in, we had a big conference call with David and I and the studio and the network, you know, going over in minutia the ratings of the overnights of night one. And the entire conversation was about what's going to be the drop-off into night two. How much are we going to drop? If we drop to this, it's really bad. If it drops to this, you're crazy, but it's really amazing. And where's it going to be? And the day after the second part aired, the number actually went up. And no one had ever experienced anything like this. And there was this sort of like stunned group on the phone talking about, well, I guess I mean, it went up. I mean, how did it go up? Is this a mistake?
We were like, how you like me now, man?
And that was the moment that I thought, wow, we're really going to make the series and it's really going to work.
But no, I mean, you guys talk a lot about, in the opening crawl, it talks about the plan. And then you guys have all publicly said that when the writer's strike happened, the plan kind of changed because you had a little bit more time to sit with what you conceived and where you wanted it to go. I'm just curious how significantly it changed.
I just remember this conversation Ron and I had. I was in the editing room. Ron was in his car on the way there. And we were building the main title. And it ended with, and they have a plan. And Ron was saying to me, are you sure we want to do that? I mean...
No, I think I actually said, there is no fucking plan. What does that mean exactly?
And I said, you know, it's good to say that. It's a good idea. It'll, you know, sort of coalesce the nature of this thing in such a way that it won't feel bullshitty. It won't feel like we're making it up as we go along. And so, you know, at the last second, we sort of agreed to do it. And the idea that this last thing is called the plan is just like...